Welcome to East West Seed Foundation's Urban Gardening Webinar Series. In this webinar series, we will teach you how you can grow your own healthy, nutritious food at home. My name is Joyce, and in today's episode, my colleague Melanie and I will be sharing how to know your pests in your home garden and what you can do about them. The term insect is derived from the Latin word insectum, meaning cut up or divided into segments. Their body is made of chitinous exoskeleton to keep the inner soft tissue safe from any sort of injury. The body is composed of three body parts. The head consists of the mouth parts, compound eyes, and a pair of antennae. The thorax, where the pairs of wings and 6 legs are attached, and the abdomen that contains the heart, reproductive organs, midgut, and other digestive organs. Insect belongs to kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta. Insects are one of the most diverse group of animals on Earth, with over 1 million species described. 75% of animal groups are insects. Insects can be beneficial or they can also be pests. Only 10% of the insect populations are considered pests that gardeners have to watch out for. So it's very important to know more about the insects in your garden and correctly identify which are beneficial and which are harmful. The majority of insects can be beneficial and friendly to man. Some insects are pollinators. Some produces useful substances like honeybees. And predators and parasitoids act as biological control agents to control some pests. Predatory insects feed on the other insects. Some predators eat their prey whole, while others suck out the bodily fluids of their prey. Many predatory insects are skilled flyers and/or runners, which aid in catching prey. Earwigs are beneficial insects and are now being mass-produced in laboratories for field release. Parasitoids are insects that develop at the expense of a host insect, eventually killing it. Parasitoids live and develop either within their host or outside of it. These parasitic wasps are beneficial in that they attack hornworm larvae. Insects are considered pests when they cause damage to plant and animals. For example, larvae that feeds on the leaves, shoots, and fruits. Destroy structure like termites, and there are insects that transmit diseases. It is also important to know the life cycle of an insect and which stage are they destructive to plants. There are two types of insect life cycles: the complete and incomplete life cycles. Complete life cycles has 4 distinct stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The egg hatches into larva, which is the most destructive stage as they feed on different plant parts, and then develop into the pupal stage or resting stage before it emerges as an adult. Insects with complete life cycles include butterfly, moth, flies, and beetles. The leaf miner is a kind of fly that damages leaves in the larva stage. 2 other insects that have a complete life cycle are the 28-spotted beetle and the flea beetle. These are harmful in the larva and adult stage. Incomplete metamorphosis only has 3 life cycle stages: egg, nymph, and adult. The nymph goes through several nymphal stages. Each nymphal stage looks like a smaller version of the adult. The nymph is also wingless. Both the nymphs and adults are destructive to plants because as the egg hatches into nymphs, they start feeding on the plants until it reaches the adult stage. Examples of insect with incomplete life cycle are whiteflies, leafhoppers, thrips, aphids, and grasshoppers. The life cycle of an aphid is complicated. An adult female reproduces without fertilization. This is called parthenogenesis. When mother aphids reproduce parthenogenetically instead of laying eggs, they give birth directly to smaller editions of themselves. Newly born aphids can reproduce within a week with 5 offspring per day for 30 days. You can imagine how fast they can multiply in your plants within a short period of time when you just observe a few. There are several types of insect that we can group by feeding behavior. These are chewers, miners and borers, sucking insects, gall-forming insects, and seed eaters. We will focus our discussion on the first 3 types: chewers, miners and borers, and sucking insects, as these the most common insect pests you will encounter in your home garden. Most chewers, miners and borers, and sucking insects can be observed directly feeding on the plant, causing damage. Most sucking insects, whiteflies, aphids, and thrips also do direct damage, but even more. They can also cause indirect damage by transmitting serious plant diseases to your plant. These are insects that cause plant damage by chewing. Flea beetles are very small insects, like a grain of rice, normally colored dark metallic blue. They create shot holes on the leaves. You can install mesh cloth or old kulambo as a row cover or barrier to prevent flea beetles from feeding on your plants. Squash beetles are orange and oval in shape, about the size of an ampalaya seed, that create a ring or round holes as they chew. The best way to manage squash beetles is through hand picking or sweeping using an insect net. The 28-spotted beetle is oval, about the size of a corn kernel, with a larva having hair, and the adult being smooth. These create ladder-like window damage. The best way to manage the 28-spotted beetle is through hand picking or sweeping using an insect net. Insect miners or borers enter the leaves, fruits, and/or stem of the plant. The leaf miner in the larva stage is very common and very easy to spot due to the tunnel lines they leave behind. You can use a blue sticky trap to catch the adult fly. Remove affected leaves and dispose of away from your plant. The eggplant has a special pest, the eggplant fruit and shoot borer. An adult moth flies into your eggplant plant and lays eggs. Remove affected plant parts and fruit. Fruit flies affect fruits. The female fruit fly lay eggs on the fruit and the larvae feed on the fruit, causing yellowing. Remove affected fruits and do fruit bagging with a fine mesh net. A fine mesh net bag is recommended because the fruit is still exposed to sunlight and no moisture collects. A fine mesh net bag is reusable. Lepidopterous insects are where the butterflies and moths belong. Larvae are the most destructive stage of this group. The 2 black dots at the head of the larva are the unique indicator of a cutworm. It can be up to 1 inch in length. All parts of the plant can be damaged. Management includes hand picking of white egg mass, larva, and pupa. The pupa may be found on the ground. The fruit worm, like its name, only attacks fruits, leaving holes, also around 1 inch in length. The color of the fruit worm can depend on what it's eating. Management includes hand-picking of white egg mass, larva, and pupa. The two white bands at the back of the larva are the unique indicator of a leaf folder. The pupa is formed on a leaf, folding the leaf in the process. Again, management includes hand-picking of white egg mass, larva, and pupa. The larva or caterpillar forms a loop while crawling, giving it the name semi-looper. Again, management includes hand-picking of white egg mass, larva, and pupa. An insect lives for only about 1 month. After hatching from eggs, the larva stage lasts for about 10 days and is the most destructive period. The pupa and adult are not destructive, but the adult lays eggs for the next generation. So pupa and adult control is also desirable. The natural way to manage these pests are through hand picking. Sucking insects cause direct damage as well as may carry disease to your plant, causing indirect damage. Diseases come to your plant through these sucking insects. They prefer hot and dry conditions and are mostly in high population during summer season. Aphids may be seen as a small black dots behind leaves. Another sign of aphid infestation is the presence of many ants with whom aphids have a symbiotic relationship. Manage aphids through the use of yellow sticky trap. Remove alternate hosts like weeds. Avoid excessive nitrogen application. And the use of botanical extracts like neem, cacahuate, and hot pepper. White flies are very small flying insects. When you see a clump of white and touch the plant, they will fly away temporarily and then return. Control through the use of yellow sticky traps, remove alternate hosts like weeds, and possibly use of biopesticides. Thrips are microscopic insects, and you know your plant has this if it exhibits upward curling of leaves. Older leaves become silvery, distorted, and may drop. Prune infested part and dispose properly. Manage through the use of sticky trap. Remove alternate hosts like weeds. Leaf hoppers is like the whitefly. With high population, the leaves exhibit hopper burn at the tip. Prune infested leaves and dispose properly. Mites are not insects, but rather belong to the spider family. We are including mites in this discussion because they also contribute to plant distress through sucking of leaf sap and fruit. Red spider mites are very small and can't really be seen. Evidence of red spider mites are light dots on the underside of the leaves and the presence of webbing. Remove damaged leaves and fruits and dispose properly. Spray with biopesticides like neem, hot pepper, and garlic extract. Broad mites are also very tiny. Presence of broad mites can be observed from leaf narrowing and downward curling. Fruits also display a distorted shape and scaling. Remove infested fruits, leaves, and branches and dispose properly. Spray biopesticides like neem, hot pepper, cacahuate, and garlic extracts. As mentioned at the start, insects can be beneficial or they can also be pests. Only 10% of insect population are considered pests that gardeners have to watch out for. So it's very important to know more about the insects in your garden and correctly identify which are beneficial and which are harmful. We need to monitor our garden and catch pest infestation at the start before they reach an unmanageable number. While watering the plants, you may look underneath the leaves to check if there are signs of insect infestation. This okra leaf had no insects found, but is probably being eaten by semilooper. The presence of insect eggs tell you that unless these are removed, your plant will soon be filled with damaging larvae. Insect frost are green to dark green sprinkles deposited where the larvae are eating. This string bean has aphids and its companion ants. This okra also has aphids and ants. You can see them moving around. Monitor the insect present in your garden by using sweep net or insect net. Your nets will capture what insects there are in your garden. Sweeping may also help reduce the population of adults that will mate and eventually lay eggs. Install sticky traps to monitor the insect present in your garden, as well as their population based on the number and kind or species of insects that were trapped. This may also help reduce the population of adults that will mate and lay eggs. Sticky traps can be made from any material that are painted yellow or blue. The color yellow attracts whiteflies and aphids. The color blue attracts thrips and leaf miners. The blue or yellow colored traps is smeared with oil to capture these adult flying insects. You can also paint a paper plate and spray with a commercially available adhesive. Pest and disease monitoring are a normal part of gardening. So remember, make monitoring part of your daily gardening activity. Thanks for joining us in this webinar series, and we hope that you learned a lot. Please like and follow our FB page to get updates. To learn more about Easter Seeds vegetable varieties, please download Crop Wiki EWS app on Google Play or Apple App Store. You can now order high-quality vegetable seeds online from the comfort of your home. Visit East West Seeds official Lazada store today. Bye for now!